Hello, welcome to World of Writecraft. We're going to edit the last scene that we did to get into the workflow, and then we are going to write the last scene or two for the story. I was thinking it was going to be just one scene, but thinking about it, I want to add another scene, or at least a continuation of our last scene, just get into Christopher's head a little bit. Let's see. Let's actually go back to the last two scenes. Actually not. Alright, we're going to the middle of a scene and a half back ago when he's did I make that a separate scene? Yeah, I think it did. So I guess we're going back two scenes. So we're in Christopher's left his house and he's walking around town. I want to see if I can add a little bit more internal dialogue or strife or something. Christopher walked around town for hours, thinking about how his world was turned upside down. He couldn't get over the idea that a vampire, Oliver, had manipulated his family for hundreds of years. He felt Oliver was calling to collect on some overdue pact that his family made with the devil long before he was born. It reminded him of the fairy tale where the parents would trade their firstborn son for some power, only this time the parents were happy to give him up, happy to see their son thrown into a dark world of death. Hello, Grievous Gus. Enjoy your lurking. I appreciate that you're here. Eventually, he ended up at the door of his friend's apartment. He didn't want to be alone, but he also didn't want to walk anymore. Who could he talk to about this? Who could he really talk to about this? He knocked on the door of a blonde young man answered. It was Christopher's friend Kurt, who smiled as he saw Christopher standing on the doorstep. Christopher, hello, I didn't expect to see you today. Last night was a blast. I'm glad you came with us to the dance. Come in. Christopher stepped inside and followed Kurt to his living room where they both sat down. The television was on, they were both looking at it, but Christopher wasn't really paying attention to the TV. He was lost in his own thoughts. He was grateful to know someone else in the room. Okay, so I want to change the sentence here. He was lost in his own thoughts, but he was grateful to know someone else was in the room who he could trust. I kind of want to change it so it highlights the fact that Christopher is having a crisis with trust. I kind of got that there with the sentence, but it's not perfect. It's not, yeah, I want to add a little bit more there. He was lost in his own thoughts, but he was grateful to know someone else was in the room he could trust. So maybe this is too long a sentence. He was lost in his own thoughts, but it's real to know someone else was in the room who he could trust. Even though he knew if he told Kurt, he would think him mad. Happier with that, I guess. I guess that'll work for now. I don't know if I'll change it later. Kurt looked over at Christopher, who seemed to be staring at nothing. Something wrong? You look a bit sad. Christopher shook his head. No. Well, nothing you can help with. I learned my family has been keeping a big secret, one that has changed the rest of my life, and I don't see how I can change it back. We had a fight and I stormed out. So I just want to add a little sentence there to highlight how serious this is. I can change it back. We had a fight and I stormed out. I don't know if I can live with going back. Kurt got a concerned look on his face. That sounds dreadful. I'm sorry. Is there anything I can do to help? Would you like to talk about it? Christopher didn't immediately answer. He couldn't tell Kurt the truth. He was sure he wouldn't believe him anyways. Who would believe in vampires? I'd like to talk about it, but I can't. I just need company to help keep my mind occupied. I don't want to think about it anymore. He thought about what it would be like when he went home. He was dreading it. There is something you could do. Do you think I could spend the night? I don't want to go home. Kurt nodded. Of course you can stay. You can stay as long as you want. Right, so I kind of want to change this last paragraph a little bit, because it kind of indicates that Christopher is thinking about going home, like it's a possibility, and I want it to be more like there is no possibility. I'd like to talk about it, but I can't. I just need company to keep my mind occupied. I don't want to think about it anymore. He thought about what it would like to be. He thought about what it would be like when he went home. He's dreading it. He thought about what it would be like when he went home. He was dreading it. Worse, he wasn't sure he wanted to go home. There was something you could do. Do you think I could spend the night? I don't want to go home. Kurt nodded. Of course you can stay. You can stay as long as you want. Alright, so it didn't add much, but it added enough that I think it's a little bit more serious, and the tone works the way that I would like it to work, where it's a little bit more dire than it was before. Christopher ended up spending the next few days with Kurt, avoiding his problems. To his credit, Kurt didn't seem to mind. Christopher also didn't go back to school. He stayed shut in. He didn't know what to do. He thought about dropping out of school, moving away, and starting a new family, but he wasn't sure if that would help or not. It wasn't until Thursday that he once again had to face his situation head on. He was sleeping uncomfortably on the couch when he woke up. He felt strange, like he wasn't alone in the darkness. There was a cold breeze, and he looked over to the window. There was a dark silhouette crouched on the window's edge. Christopher knew before the person spoke. Who could have been? Alright. So I kind of want to have Christopher feel that Draven was there, not just know. I want to be a little bit more specific, because Christopher has a certain power that I'm not going to really talk about in the story, but if I use them later in another story, I want the seeds of that power to have been planted in this story. So I was changing the word choices a little bit. Christopher knew before the person spoke who it was. He could feel it. It was Draven. Who else could it have been? Draven spoke. You wouldn't be trying to run away on me now, would you, Christopher? I noticed you haven't been home, and you haven't gone to school. Christopher sat up, reached over to the lamp, and turned it on. Any feelings of safety that had developed over the last few days quickly disappeared. I don't want to be a vampire. I don't want to die. Just leave me alone. I want to add in, just leave me alone. So I think that sounds a little bit better. Draven continued to crouch on the open window ledge. I see a lot of potential in you, more than I've seen in a human in nearly 2,000 years. I don't want that to go to waste. Draven paused for a few moments, the first sign of hesitation that Christopher had seen from him. I was not given a choice when I was made. My maker saw my potential and saved me from a life of tedium. I'm doing the same for you. You will appreciate it one day. There are things I can teach you, show you things you can't even imagine. It will be a wondrous time. You enjoy fighting? Can you not imagine all the things I've learned, what I could teach you? For the first time, Christopher saw past the death, the darkness, and thought about what it would mean to actually be immortal, to live through the ages. What could he learn? What could he achieve? Still, was it worth the cost? He knew he'd lose everything. He knew he would lose everything. Nothing would be the same. He'd still have to die. Would he still be able to have friends? Friends like Kurt? What about Jennifer? He wanted to ask her out. How could he if he was a vampire? He'd never have a family of his own. No, I still don't want to become a vampire. Draven sighed. Maybe you don't. But that is just fear. Fear of the unknown. Oh, moderation time. I'm sorry for this. I don't want to do any of these things. I want to get rid of him. Sorry, this is going to be a second. I have to open up a window. I've got a Twitch. I can't do it from my program. I need to delete the message. I haven't had to do this in a while. I apologize that it's taking this amount of time. There should be show mod icons. There, did it. Awesome. That person is now banned, and the message is deleted. And now I gotta change back my view. And I'm having problems doing that. I am just not getting things right today. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, dealing with the guy spamming, I don't even know, I think it's trying to get people to do follows for paid stuff. So, I'll get back into the story. I'm currently editing a scene because I wanted to extend the scene, and then we'll get into writing the last scene for the short story. I was hoping to end or get about 30 pages, but it looks like the story is only going to go for about 22 pages, which is fine. I'm just happy that I'm going to complete the story. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's the perfect time to join the stream. Wasn't anything too terrible, just dumb. Alright, where was I before that got interrupted? Oh, I was on the last paragraph, alright. Draven side, maybe you don't, but that is just fear. Fear of the unknown. Still, you still don't have that choice. You know the choice you do have. Will it be me or will it be Oliver? That is the one you have to make. And you have to make it tomorrow night. You'll meet me at Oliver's place at midnight. Your week is up. I hope you didn't waste it. At that, Draven dropped off the windowsill, disappearing back into the darkness. Okay, for this next little bit, I'm going to be writing a scene continuation of the scene where Christopher can't sleep, so he gets up and he walks up to the roof. He's contemplating his choices, and then he's going to find himself on the ledge of the building and contemplating jumping off. And then he'll choose not to do so. And then we'll get into the last scene. Yeah, it's the internet, and it sucks that people harass people and are sexist, and yeah, it's terrible. But at least it gives the tools to get rid of those people. I could never seem to spoke Christopher right. Christopher threw off his blanket and stood up. He walked over to the window and looked out. He was on the 5th story. He looked down, but there was no sign of Draven. Not that he was expecting any. He closed the window and looked back at the couch. He was no longer tired, his impending death weighing heavily on his mind. He decided he needed to get some fresh air. Yo, what's up, Octavian? Just, finished editing, my last scene, and I'm continuing the scene. I decided I'm doing more than just writing one more scene. I'm continuing my last scene, because I wanted him to have some more confliction and dialogue, internal dialogue, and we talked about this the other night. So this is where I'm continuing it, and then I'll get into writing the last scene. And I finally set up the stream raiders, so we got a battle going in 10 minutes. And I hope people will lend me their units. Alright. So he was no longer tired, his impending death weighed heavily on his mind. He decided he needed to get some fresh air. You know what? I don't know if he left that house with this coat. I'm gonna go back and look at the scene when he stormed out of the house. So, he should have a coat. No, I think I'm going to have him, not have a coat, because he stormed out in the middle of a fight. Let's see. how exactly did I describe it? Nope, he just walked past him and slammed the door. Didn't care, didn't take a coat, and I think I'm going to live with that choice and write the scene as if he doesn't have a coat. It kind of just adds to the... He was in a rush, didn't really care, wasn't thinking, he just left. So I'm going to leave it in there like that. Well, I'm going to have him have a coat. It's going to be one of Kurt's coats. No. Why am I so conflicted about a coat? I don't know. No coat. Grabbed his socks and shoes and put them on. He went out the door and took the stairs to the roof. Alright, so and then I'm going to do some tour dialogue here. I had it kind of worked out in my head last night how I was going to do this, but I never really figured out the start of the internal dialogue, just kind of where it would go, where it would end. So I'm kind of feeling it out in my head right now. Trying to figure out this, how I want to describe Oliver manipulating Christopher. I've used it I've talked about it a little bit, so I want to talk about, or mention it again, but I want to mention it in a new way so it doesn't feel repetitive. It just feels like someone going over and over and over again in their head about a situation. He grabbed his socks and shoes and put them on. He went out the door and took the stairs to the room, but he hardly paid attention to what he was doing. He was lost in his own thoughts. He didn't know the Streven, and it turns out he didn't know his Uncle Oliver either. Or his parents for that matter. Which is worse, not knowing someone or knowing someone and finding out they're lying to you their whole lives? That should be a question. Not only lying, but manipulating you and your whole family, not just your immediate family, but your whole family for generations. Christopher is having a hard time wrapping his mind around the implications. Yeah, I think that was good. It's getting my point across, I think. Wouldn't mind some input. My point I'm trying to get across is Christopher is... While he loves his uncle and he cared for his uncle and he thought he had a loving family, and it turns out that everyone was manipulating and using him for his whole entire life, and he's just trying to figure out what that means. And something like that, someone could take a very long time trying to figure out, and he's being forced to make a decision, a life-altering decision about that person in the next, 24 hours. So, it's a little hard to put myself in that situation, so hopefully I'm getting what I'm trying to have you feel across. On Stream Raiders, you got one more minute to put down troops. Let's see. Christopher was having a hard time wrapping his mind around the implications. Well, time for the battle. And it's a good time to do it before I get into a thought. I have exactly one unit on the field. Let's see how that goes. Probably will lose, but we'll see. Go a little faster, thank you. Oh yeah, I'm gonna lose this. Well, that's taking a long time. He has a lot of hit points. Oh, that. Yeah, I'm dead. I did no damage. I guess we will start new map. It doesn't really matter. I got some gold, my battle pass stuff. Apparently, I didn't have to pay for the battle pass. It's weird. That's fine. All right, so let's get the next one going. Basically the same one, I think. Start battle. I'm gonna go ahead and put out another tank. Hopefully I will get some reinforcements this time. If not, oh well. Oh, there's planning? Oh yeah. Uriel's telling me about this. I never looked at it. Oh well. Don't need to worry about that right now. I don't want to erase anything. Alright, let's go back to writing. So you got 29 minutes and 20 seconds if you want to place some troops out there for stream raiders. He opened the door to the roof and walked out. The cold hit him and he was momentarily dropped. Trying to describe the scene here and got talked myself into a corner a little bit. Almost done with this paragraph. Alright, let's see if this works. He opened the door to the roof and walked out. The cold hit him, and he was momentarily... I guess. The cold hit him, and he was momentarily shocked out of his thoughts. He walked further onto the roof. He walked further onto the roof. He walked further onto the roof, and the freshly fallen snow crunching under his feet. No, that's the wrong word for feet. And he took in the view. There was a soft blanket of snow on the ground, and the snowflakes filled the air. Christopher was unsure what time it was. Whatever time it was quiet. So quiet he could almost imagine he could hear the snow softly landing on the ground. Despite the darkness, the night no, that doesn't make any sense. Despite the late night, the sky was softly lit. Oh, I need to rework this, sorry. Yeah, that sentence was just all garbled up and weird. Didn't make any sense. Alright. So quiet he could almost imagine he could hear the snow softly laying on the ground. Despite the late night, the sky was softly lit by the streetlights, which illuminating the snow. It's still a little I don't know. It doesn't flow right. Despite the late night, the sky was softly lit by the streetlights. Which illuminated the falling snow. Alright. Despite the late night, the sky was softly lit by the streetlights, which illuminated this falling snow. The world looked like it was in a giant snow globe. The world looked like it was in a giant snow globe someone had just shook up. Alright, I'm going to read that whole paragraph over again. I think I fixed it. Let's find out. He opened the door to the roof and walked out. The cold hit him, and he was momentarily shocked out of his thoughts. He walked further onto the roof, the freshly fallen snow crunching under his feet, and took in the view. There was a soft blanket of snow on the ground, and snowflakes filled the air. Christopher was unsure what time it was. Whatever time it was quiet. So quiet he could almost imagine he could hear the snow softly landing on the ground. Despite the late night sky... I need a comma there. Despite the late night, the sky was softly lit by the streetlights, which illuminated the falling snow. Still not perfect, but serviceable for the moment. The world looked like it was a giant snow globe someone had just shook up. Alright, so I'm moderately happy with that. Alright. Now it's coming down to his choices. And thinking about his choices. His thoughts wandered back to the choice he was being forced to make. He could either choose to be made a vampire by Draven or by Oliver. He hated being forced into a choice he didn't want to make, but he could see no way out of it. He couldn't run. He was sure they would find him, and he could see how he couldn't. See how he could stop them. He couldn't even land a punch on his uncle when he thought he was human. Who knows what kind of powers he has as a vampire? He felt helpless. I see how big this building is? I have to go back and look. I don't think I did. I just see that he was on the 5th story, so let's make it 7th story. No, 9, 10. It's kind of big, but it's fine. He looked down, suddenly realizing he'd walked to the edge of the building. He could see. Yeah, this is the scene right before the last scene. I'm extending the previous scene that I wrote to give a more, like, feeling and more tension, I guess, because I just didn't feel it was coming across right, and I have more pages to, you know, flesh out. I don't have a hard cap of pages, so I figured I would explore his inner thoughts a little bit. Well, I butchered that. He looked down, suddenly realizing he had walked to the edge of the building. He saw the street 10 stories down. It was white, the freshly fallen snow was untouched. He had never actually came up to the roof before. It felt like he was higher up than he expected it would feel. He never actually gone up to the roof. That's better. Christopher climbed up onto the ledge, glancing down once again. He could kill himself. He was high enough that his death would be assured. Part of him was ready to do it, to do the one thing he could do to stop them from getting their way. He had lived a life for other people. He always did what was expected of him. What his parents wanted, what his uncle wanted, what his teachers wanted. He rarely got to do what he wanted. He was an adult now. He could make his own choices. He didn't have to live a life he didn't want to live. He could feel himself getting ready to walk off the ledge. His right leg was lifting. In just a moment, he would be falling to his death. That would show them they can have what they want. I won't let them. Ah, against the ledge. Oh my god. What's going on with me? Ledge. There we go. Alright, we got stream readers going on. We got 4 minutes left to play some troops. Would appreciate the help. We'd like to be able to get past the first map. Alright. Awesome, Octavian, thank you. Perfect. We'll get this. I wanted to look at the edge at a different point because I think it's more dramatic, so I deleted it there. I messed up the tinsel up there. Alright. It's kind of like a pivotal moment here, so I'm trying to think of the right words. Alright, so I'm going to read this paragraph and then we will get to the stream raiders. His right foot continued to rise. He almost took a step forward, but he found himself stumbling backwards off the ledge. His eyes began to well up. He started to realize what he had almost done. Tears started to fall. He had a choice. He could choose to be a vampire or he could choose to die. They couldn't take that choice from him. He almost felt a sense of relief, some measure of control over his own life. He knew the choice he had to make. He wasn't ready to die. He would become a vampire. Don't necessarily like that. Let's do stream raiders and we'll come back to it. Alright, here we got Octavian with the guys here. Deets Beats joining the battle. Alright, let's get it going. I don't think we can... I guess we can hurt them before they're unfrozen. Alright. Oh, this is going much better. Oh no, please save your epics for later. This is supposed to be really easy, so I was really surprised I didn't defeat it by myself. Last time I did stream raiders, I didn't have anyone joining me for the first, maybe even the second battle. But, ooh, maybe we won't be able to manage this one. Maybe we did need that epic unit. We were doing so well, too. Well, that was a shame. Okay, that's... Alright, let's see what we got for salvage, alright. Not gonna do any retry tokens, that was ridiculous. Alright, so let's try this again. Yeah, I'm surprised that there's even those Anators, because, like, you look at what's up here, it's supposed to be these little guys. But, nope, dinosaurs. Let's see, 16 damage. Those hit points, though. Need those hit points. Yeah, let's switch up my epic unit. Let's try a warrior. Good combination of hit points and damage. Alright, perfect. Lend me your powers, please. I would appreciate it. Nice. Place that epic unit. Thank you, Octavian. We'll get past this map. I swear. Alright, I'm gonna read that paragraph again. His right foot continued to rise. continued to race. He almost took the step forward, but he found himself stumbling backwards off the ledge. His eyes began to well up. He started to realize what he had almost done. Yeah, that's better. Tears started to fall. He had a choice. He could choose to be a vampire, or he could choose to die. They couldn't take that choice from him. He almost felt a sense of relief, some measure of control over his own life. He knew the choice he had to make. He wasn't ready to die. He would become a vampire. I think that's a strong finish for that scene. I think he finally feels conflicted. And I was always worrying about, like, he had the choice to die. Like, and I kind of wanted to, like, go over him having that choice in the story, because if I didn't do that, I feel like I would be leaving a big, like, hole there. So I think this was a important ending to this scene, because it makes it important, or seem like he had a choice to die, to deny them their prizes, and then, like, if you don't want to be a vampire, he can make this choice, and they couldn't take it from him. And he's coming around to the idea that he would rather be a vampire than die. So it's coming back to the original choice he had to make. That's why it's called Dark Choices, because it's not just a choice. There's more than one choice. He can die, become a vampire. He has to choose between which vampire he wants to become a vampire to. I mean, those aren't dark choices. I'm not sure what are. So now we're getting into the final scene, which I have somewhat sketched out in my mind. I think what I wrote in the previous scene will help clarify some of the things I was going to do in the final scene. Questions he'll ask, answers he'll get. But hopefully it kind of, like, while I was focusing on the choice between living and dying, I hope that I highlighted the issue he's facing with between choosing Draven, someone he doesn't know, and Oliver, which is someone who is manipulative and can't be trusted. Yeah. So that's my thoughts going into this final scene. Kirby is an option. Yeah. Kirby is definitely there. Sometime I'll actually experiment with the stream avatars because there's like mini games you can play, but I haven't figured that out yet. Should probably put some work into it. Yep, Kurt's still there. He will be surviving the story. He was just dropping off Christopher. Alright, let's read this paragraph here. Christopher looked out the window at Oliver's house. It was late evening. It was time to make his choice. After last night, he was quietly resolved to make the choice, although he wasn't sure who he would choose. He looked over to the driver's seat where Kurt sat. This might be the last time I see. Kurt had been a good friend, although he had only known him for the last few years. Bye, Kurt. Thanks for everything. I'm not sure what I would have done without you. Don't know why I was about to say garage door, and that was silly. Christopher turned and opened the. Christopher turned and opened the car door when Kurt spoke. You don't have to go back to your family. We can figure something out. I just don't want you to feel like you have to go back. I'm happy to continue helping. Christopher glanced back with a small, sad smile on his face. Thank you, I appreciate that. But I've avoided this long enough. I can't avoid it anymore. I need to go back and sort it out. Your support has meant a lot to me. I hope to see you again. Christopher stood up and closed the door just as Kurt said, "Wait, there's a chance I won't see you again?" Trying to think of how I want to end this paragraph. I don't want Kurt to have driven off yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to mention that fact, or just leave the fact that he didn't hear car leaving unspoken. Christopher stood there just a moment, his eyes closed. Why is that highlighted? Yeah, I guess. He wanted to turn around, open up the door, and answer... I don't need to say up. Open the door and answer Kurt, but he knew there was no answer he could give. He started walking up to the door of Oliver's house, not looking back. So we got 14 minutes for stream avatars. I'm going to add that he hears the car drive away as he enters the house. Oliver is still in the story, yes. I mean, so far in the story, only one person's died. So anyone can return. But no, I mean, for this final scene, it's just going to be 3 characters. So this is sort of metaphorical, and I don't usually get this way to story, but it just happens to work out this way. So I'm going to read the paragraph. Christopher stood there just a moment, his eyes closed. He wanted to turn around, open the door, and answer Kurt, but he knew there was no answer he could give. He started walking up to the door of Oliver's house, not looking back. He knocked on the door, and Oliver answered. He heard Kurt's car drive away as he walked into the house and closed the door behind him. I mean, it's implying it's kind of like he's closing the door on his past life. He's just kind of moving on. So I kind of like the double meaning there. Don't usually get to put those in a story. Just kind of worked out that way. So, huzzah. Something for future literary scholars to examine. You pick apart. Actually, I kind of want to use the word sardonically, and I want to make sure that I'm using it correctly for this next sentence. So I think it fits what I want it to do. Let's look at synonyms warily, mockingly, sarcastically, cynically. No, sardonically is not the right word that I was going to use. I'm glad I looked it up. Although I like that word, and I want to try to use it at some point. I don't know if I'll be able to use it in this story. Sardonically, good word. I don't think how I want to start this paragraph. I want to be a little descriptive, but it's also just he's walking into the living room. I mean, how descriptive are you going to be about that? Right. Again, with the not spelling Christopher correctly. 10 minutes for stream raiders. Oliver led Christopher to the living room. Wrong kind of lead. Led. Alright, during the short walk, Oliver didn't say anything, not much. Didn't say a dang thing. I guess it's going to craft for a hyphen. Yep. So, trying to work out how people are going to act in the living room, because one thing about how I visualize things when it comes to dialogue, because this is going to be a dialogue-heavy scene part, but also like there's movement, so I need to place Oliver, Christopher, and Draven in specific locations, talk about their movements during the dialogue, so it's fluid. So I have to set up how Draven looks to begin with. And I kind of want him to just be casually in the room, but imagining the room, I don't want it to look like it's awkward. So the description of how he's standing is just kind of becoming a little difficult in my mind, I guess. I'm overthinking it, that's for sure. Definitely overthinking it. Oliver led Christopher to the living room. During the short walk, Oliver didn't say anything, but he did look back once and gave Oliver a half-hearted smile. As they walked into the room, Christopher saw that Draven was already there. He was sitting next to the fireplace, which had a roaring fire. He seemed to be focused on the flames. Despite sitting next to the fire, Draven was still wearing his trench coat. He looked away from the fire as they walked into the living room. I'm gonna say Draven, not he. Just sounds better. But I hate using the same word over and over again. Oliver motioned for Christopher to take a seat at the couch. Seat on the couch. Draven went back to looking at the fire. Oliver motioned for Christopher to take a seat on the couch. Draven back to looking at the fire while Oliver took a seat in the chair next to the couch, which was angled so you could get a view of the fireplace while still being able to visit with anyone that would be sitting in the couch. Oh my god, that's such a huge sentence. I have to cut that down. I haven't written a run-on sentence that bad in a long time. I'm usually a lot better at it. Alright. Oliver motioned for Christopher to take a seat on the couch. Everyone went back to looking at the fire. Oliver took a seat in the chair next to the couch. The chair is angled so that you could get a view of the fireplace while still being able to visit with anyone that would be sitting on the couch. This gave Oliver a good view of both Christopher and Raven. Alright, got a little over a minute left for Stream Raiders. Just think about how I want to have speak first. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Oliver. Yeah, it's definitely going to be Oliver. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and switch over to Stream Raiders. We got like 5 seconds left. It's a good time because I need to think about that sentence there. Alright, oh, wrong button. There's Stream Raiders. Alright, so that bomb's going to blow something up good. Alright, let's get this started. A little less units, but more DPS, I think. I've never actually seen the bomb work. Boom. That's a lot of DPS. Doing a little bit better, I think. That bomber is gonna. This guy's gonna. It's gonna die. Oh no! It's not working. Yeah, we gotta... I don't know how we're gonna progress. This should not be the first fight. I've never had one this difficult as the first fight. Start a new map, I guess. Alright, so let's try this again. I think I'll put out the rogue. They don't have many hit points, but we have to kill them before they get out of the ice, so just gotta DPS it, because once they're out of the ice, they kill it no matter what I have out, so won't do that. Lend me your powers. Alright, back to the story. Oh, I'm out of pop. I should have got more pop. I've been drinking more pop lately. It's a bad thing. Alright, back to the story. Oliver put his arms on the chair. Well, isn't this tense? Well, this is intense. Well, this is intense. Sounded good in my head. It's not sounding good when I read it out loud. Well, this is intense or anything. That sounds a bit better. He looked at Christopher. Thank you for coming. Christopher folded his arms. I wasn't left with much choice. Alright, so I'm trying to figure out how to work in the conversation to the point where I know what I want to say, so it's not awkward and it's more natural. Oliver sighed. No, you weren't, and I'm sorry about that. He looked over at Draven, then back at Christopher. It was unavoidable. I want to bring up the question. I want Christopher to bring up the question. Oliver, would you have turned me even if Draven didn't show up? Trying to figure out exactly how to work that in. Getting really close to it too, and then it'll just kind of like take off from there. No, you weren't. I'm sorry about that. He looked over at Draven, then back to Christopher. It was unavoidable. Christopher raised an eyebrow. Was it? Tell me this, Oliver. If Draven hadn't shown up, hadn't forced your hand, would you eventually have made me a vampire anyways? I talked to my parents. I know what you've done. What you've been doing. Manipulating my family for untold generations. How you told my parents to have me. Who raised me. For you. I use an exclamation mark. I don't use this very often, but it seemed appropriate. Oliver took a moment to answer, the contemplation playing on his face. I'm sorry I've lied to you, but I won't lie to you again, I promise. I honestly don't know if I would have forced the issue. I would hope that you would have chosen to become a vampire. I don't know if I would have forced you until the time came. Wow, that sentence isn't right. Right. I don't know if I would have forced you. I would have at least waited until the time that you are of the right age. Until the time that I thought you came to the right age. There is every chance I may have, but also, maybe not. We'll never know. Draven's time to speak. No, Christopher speaks, then Draven. Before Oliver could respond, Draven spoke. He spoke while continuing to examine the fire. You can't. Not for a long while. I've known Oliver a long time. There are things I trust him to do, and there are things I know I won't expect any. And there are things I know I won't expect any honesty. Did that wrong. Let me rework that. I know I won't expect. Let's see. I trust him. There are things I trust to do, and there are things I know. There are things. There are areas where I don't expect any honesty. Alright. There are things I trust him to do, and there are areas where I don't expect any honesty. I've come to terms with that. One thing I know is that Oliver tries to do the right thing, which is rare with our kind. He has learned to hedge his bets and have the world work for him. Trusting his fate is not one of his virtues. Alright, I'm sorry, but I have to take a break right now. Let's see. How long are we doing this for? About 2 hours. Trying to look at the time. I'm not used to using OBS. I'm usually using Twitch Studio, but it doesn't work for this. Oh well. But anyways, I have to go use the restroom. I don't have a be right back screen, but it'll just be a few minutes. Thanks for sticking with me. I'm back. Took a moment to get some more sugar drinks. It is Ghost Baelnorn. Yes, it was. I've kicked out Ghost Baelnorn though, and I have took his place. Okay. Getting back to this overly dramatic scene. This phrase that I'm about to write, I have been thinking about for over a week. I'm probably going to write it wrong the first time, but I'm going to get it right. But this is the same, or this is like something I've been thinking about for a while. So let's see if I can get it on the paper correctly. I think this worked out all right. Draven turned and looked at Christopher. I promise you this. I will never lie to you. I may not always answer your questions the way you would like. I might not even answer your questions. But what I do say, you can believe it to be the truth. Okay, so that was like a key dialogue right there. Um, and it's going to stick in Christopher's mind. And then yeah, it's important. I don't know if it seems important, but I feel it's very important to the story. And I've been thinking about it for a long time. Actually, it's been more than a week. It's been a couple weeks since I've had this phrase figured out. It's not exactly how I had it in my head, but I think it looked better on paper. Like this. I mean, it's not paper, but you know what I mean. Ooh, I spelled the word so bad the spell checker can't even get it right. Still spelled it wrong. But I spelled it right enough for the spell checker. Perfect. Christopher. Sorry, I'll fix that in a minute. Okay, so start from the beginning of this paragraph. Draven turned around and looked at Christopher. Oh, how dear. Christopher instinctually looked over at Oliver questioningly, who nodded in response. Draven is uncommonly good for our kind when it comes to keeping his word. I trust he speaks the truth, even when I may not agree with some of his actions. Gotta add a little S there. We got 3 minutes and 42 seconds left for Stream Raiders. Eventually we'll beat the first map, I hope. Trying to think about... I think we're going to get to the point where Christopher makes his decision here very soon. Exist. Anxious. Alright. One minute for Stream Raiders. Christopher was on edge, very anxious. He knew he had to choose. He'd come to that realization the other night, but now that he was faced with it, he wanted to put it off as long as possible, even if it was only a few minutes. What if I don't choose? Perfect timing. So we'll do the Stream Raiders thing, and I clicked the wrong button again. Stream Raiders. Oh yeah, this isn't going to work. Well, the rogue moves faster. Does more damage, but it's not going to be enough. I mean, the level 9 guy's helping out. Oh, we're doing better. If we can get him down before he starts attacking, we might have a chance. We did not have a chance. But I learned that you use the rogue for this. So if we get a couple more guys out there, we'll get this done. Alright, put the rogue back out there. Bam. If you all lend your power, that would be mighty appreciated. Alright, let's get back to writing. Creo didn't skip a beat. Then Oliver and I will figure out a way to decide who will be your sire. Let me be clear. We gave you a choice as a courtesy. If you don't want to make it, then it will be made for you. Now choose. I think that was pretty good like that. probably a hyphenated one right there, yeah. Oh, yeah, I should read the last paragraph. Christopher looked back at Oliver, whose expression was blank. And then he looked back to Draven. He knew it was coming, but it was finally here. He wasn't sure who he was going to pick, not till this moment. He closed his eyes as he spoke. Oliver, I love you and I always will, but I can't trust you, and I don't know if I ever will again. I can't even fathom the level of dishonesty it takes to do what you've done to me and my family. While I feel this love, I also have come to despise it. It's a feeling I want to stop having. He opened his eyes and looked over at Oliver, who had a sad look on his face. Christopher then turned to Draven. You, you I don't know, but you've never lied to me. You even saved my life, even if it was self-serving. Yeah, I don't like the word choice there. Christopher then turned to the Draven. You I don't You I don't know, but you've never lied to me. You even saved my life, even if it was self-serving. I don't know if I can trust you, but you've never broken my trust. I would rather live the rest of my life not knowing what to expect than living my life dreading that I may be living another lie. I can't live with that hanging over my head. Draven, I choose you. All right, so there's a couple things I want to have happen here, so I'm trying to figure out how to do it. Draven is going to obviously like this choice, but he's not going to be exceptionally happy about it. Like, he's not going to show emotion. But Oliver does show some emotion, like put his hand in his head. And I want Christopher to ask him, will it hurt? And he will say, no, it'll be painless. But also, on the flip side, I also want it to be kind of immediate, like, Draven, I choose you, and then Draven immediately kills him and turns him. I'm not sure which I prefer. I think I'm going to have. Yeah, I think I figured it out. So let me type it out so I can read it to you after I get it out of my head and onto paper. No, I don't like that either. He didn't put his hands on his head. Oliver's emotionless face changed. He had a small, sad smile on his face. This must have been hard for you. 15 minutes for Shroom Raiders. Lend me your powers. Christopher's eyes moistened as he looked at Oliver. It was. He paused a moment, trying to hold it together. Will it hurt? Oliver shook his head slightly, still with the sad smile. No, it won't hurt at all. So here we go. We're getting to the last couple paragraphs here. I thought about this for a long time. So let's work it out. Suddenly, Draven moved. He was no longer standing next to the fireplace. He was now standing over Christopher. He grabbed him and lifted him onto his feet. Looked him in the eye for the briefest of moments before leaning in and biting his neck. Christopher stood there in shock. He expected a sharp pain as he was bit, but he didn't. There was a slight pressure, then the feeling was gone. Yeah, I think that's how I'm gonna say it. Like a needle when blood is being drawn. But unlike when blood is drawn, Draven didn't stop. No, that doesn't sound right. There's slight pressure. Alright, I think I got it. Increase in pressure when the teeth went in. There was a slight increase in pressure when the teeth went in. Hi, Frisian Ray. Lurk away. We're also doing Stream Raiders, so if you want to throw some guys in, that'd be great. But if you don't want to and you're just hanging out and lurking, that's fine too. Just appreciate you being here. Christopher, Christopher stood there in shock. He expected a sharp pain as he was bit, but there wasn't any. There was a slight increase in pressure when the teeth went in, where he expected it to hurt, but it didn't. Like a needle when blood is being drawn, but unlike when blood is being drawn, driven. But it didn't. Like a needle when blood is being drawn. Got it. All right. You want to fix this sentence? Like a needle when blood is being drawn. But didn't, like a needle, when blood is being drawn, the expectation of pain was bigger than the reality. I just realized the music stopped. I'm going to switch it to a new playlist. See, we did the hip hop. Let's do some EDM, I guess. Why not? It was an odd sensation. It didn't hurt. He could feel the teeth in his neck. It was sort of a numb feeling, but also had a tingling sensation. It wasn't altogether unpleasant. If it wasn't for the fact that he knew he was dying. Oh, no, I could have read the sentence first. If it wasn't for the fact that he knew what was going on, that he was dying, he might actually enjoy what was happening. That music is kind of loud. I don't know if it's too loud or not. Click the right button so I can look at it. Yeah, my mic's picking up a little bit, I think, so I'll turn it down a little bit. Okay, I think that's fine. Alright, let's get back into writing this. And we got 3 minutes left for Stream Raiders. We'll do at least one more. I want to finish this scene. We're almost done with it. Actually, we probably won't do one more. If we... yeah. Anyways, let me finish writing. Alright, so I want to use the word malaise. I don't know how to spell it. Why are you not finding it? Malaise? Malaise! Spelled it right. Now I'm going to make sure I'm using it correctly. It's not a word I use very often. Yes, it is used correctly. Get to that in a minute. Stream Raiders. I just gotta finish this thought. To Stream Raiders. Oh, yep, no one put it in, so it will not work out. You know, I also forgot to put Stream Raiders in the title. That might have helped. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. Got one down. So I'm not sure if Stream Raiders works for this stream or not, but it's been okay. I mean, not the losing part, but the doing it part. I might get more engagement if I put Stream Raiders in the title, and I will do that next time, so I will give this another try. Got 5 gold. Ooh. So we're gonna stop, because I'm not sure if I'll go another half an hour, but even if we do, we weren't getting very much engagement. So next week I will try it again, but put Stream Raiders in the title and see if that helps. Okay. Cancel. Alright, we're just gonna close that out. Stream Raiders is done. He could almost feel the blood leaving him. He was feeling weaker. His mind was becoming more muddled. Then suddenly it dawned on him that he was dying. And he wasn't even trying to fight back. He was shocked out of his malaise. He struggled, trying to push Draven away, but it was like trying to move a boulder. He started hitting Draven's head, but nothing seemed to faze him. It was like he'd granite that just happened to have hair. He tried to fight back, longer, but the futility of it and his draining energy caused him to stop after only a few minutes of effort. He tried to fight back, but the futility of it and his draining energy caused him to stop only after a few moments of effort. Then there was nothing. Draven woke up at the start. He was laying on the couch, looking up. Both Draven and Oliver were standing over him. They looked different, but he couldn't tell exactly how. Their physical body was muted, the colors they wore were washed out slightly. It's more of a feeling, but he also felt that they were full of life. It was just hidden behind a drab exterior. He also felt their presence again, much like he felt Draven's when he first talked to him. It was cold, unnerving, but powerful. Oliver was emitting a similar feeling, but it was more comforting, which scared him a little more. He was confused. Confusion was compounded with his desire to eat. He had never been so hungry. It was making it hard to focus. There was no pain, exactly. But he'd never felt such an overwhelming feeling of hunger. He looked around, trying to find something to eat. He sat up and noticed that Oliver was holding something in his hands. It was an IV bag, but it didn't have a clear liquid in it. He wasn't sure what it was at first. He hadn't seen anything like it. It seemed to glow, but emitted no light. It was red, and it suddenly dawned on him that it must be blood. He'd never seen blood like this. A sudden wave of hunger struck him, even harder than what he was already feeling. Even stronger. There we go. It's a better word. He snatched. Right, he snatched the packet of blood from Oliver and quickly brought it to his mouth. He barely felt his incisors growing in his mouth as he bit into the bottom of the bag and greedily drained it. As he sucked out the blood, some of it drained out of his mouth and down his face. After he finished the bag, he threw it down on the ground. Irvin actually chuckled a little. Irvin actually chuckled slightly. No, fresh blood is much better. It's intoxicating. The packaged stuff tastes awful. I tend to avoid it unless necessary. You'll taste fresh blood soon. I would have brought someone to feed you, but Oliver didn't want animals dying in this house. Common. Yeah. Alright, just a few more paragraphs, and we'll finish this story. Oops, wrong button. Getting closer. You can feel it. Christopher looked to Oliver as he spoke. This is one of the reasons I taught you martial arts. It focuses your mind, gives you some clarity. It will help you fight the darker impulses we have. It was in preparation for you one day. Becoming a vampire. That sounds a little awkward. It was in preparation for you. For the day. It was in preparation for you for the day you might become a vampire. I wanted to give you all the help I could I wanted to prepare you as much as I could for the change. I have high hope for you. Trust in what I taught you and what Draven will teach you. Remember who you are and try to keep the hunger at bay. trying to think about how I'm going to wrap this up. I mean, like, I know the last paragraph. I'm trying to get to the last paragraph here. Oh, so right now I'm just trying to connect the previous paragraph to this next paragraph. And actually, let me read the previous paragraph because I just realized I wrote it and didn't read it like I usually do. Christopher stood up and wiped his mouth off and then looked down at the back of his hand. It was covered in blood. It finally hit him what he was, a vampire. He had just drank a bag of blood. He had just drunk a bag of blood. He didn't even think about it. It was just a natural... He hadn't even thought about it. It was just a natural impulse. Even despite how disgusting it was, he wanted more. He licked off the blood on his hand and... He licked off the blood on his hand. He could feel it nourishing him. But it also made him disgusted. He suddenly got the urge to strike out at Oliver for all he had done. He had felt this as a mortal, but he couldn't stop himself from reacting. The impulse was too strong, and he tried to attack Oliver. He tried to punch him. Despite Christopher being surprised at his newfound speed, Oliver moved out of the way effortlessly. As much as he was surprised at actually trying to strike Oliver, he was more surprised at the speed he could move. He stopped and looked down at his hands. This is amazing. Alright, so yeah, what I was trying to figure out is I kind of wanted to showcase some of his powers and try to like highlight some of the changes and some of the difficulties he's going to face as being a vampire, and then move into the paragraph in which he actually leaves, which is the end of the story, which is after this paragraph is the last paragraph. Okay, so there's going to be a couple more paragraphs because I'm breaking it up into dialogue here. Sorry. But it's basically ending. Graven looked at Christopher. It is. And we'll have time to explore your new powers. But it's time to go. I'm eager to start your training, and you still need a proper meal. Graven then looked to Oliver. We'll be going, but I hope to see you again. Remember what I said. I'll still follow you into another hunt. Almost there. Alright, so this is going to be the ending here. Last paragraph. For sure, guaranteed. I'm writing it now. And the story's done. Let's go back a couple paragraphs here. As much as he was surprised at actually trying to strike Oliver, he was more surprised at the speed he could move. He stopped and looked down at his hand. This is amazing. Draven looked at Christopher. It is. And we'll have time to explore your new powers, but it's time to go. I'm eager to start your training, and you still need to have a proper meal. Draven then looked to Oliver. We'll be going, but I hope to see you again. Remember what I said. I'll still follow you into another hunt. I may even come when you call me. Oliver nodded and looked between Draven and Christopher. Okay, I wrote that completely wrong. Oliver nodded and Christopher looked between Draven and Oliver. You're not going to tell me what this hunt is, are you? Draven Folly shook his head no. It's time to go. He grabbed Christopher's arm and led him. It's the wrong use of led him out of the room. Oliver watched as the shadows in the room deepened, despite the fire and the lights. The exit into the hallway darkened as Draven, still holding Christopher's arm, walked into the hallway. No. Wrong words. Right sentiment. Let me finish this here. The exit into the hallway darkened, and as Draven, still holding Christopher's arm, walked into the hallway, the darkness covered them both. And then they were gone. So there we go. One short story rough draft done. Got 24 pages, and I was going for about 25-30, so worked out. Technically I still have to do editing, stuff like that, and read through it again. So it's not the last time that you'll see me working on this story, but it's kind of the official end of the series, I guess. I will edit it, and then I'm going to read it, and it's going to be up on YouTube as a YouTube video. I may next week go read it and edit it on stream. Kind of like or just kind of like a behind the scenes look of the series or something, I don't know. But this is the end of the rough draft, and that's what I intended to put on stream. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will update my link to the story. I will update the story that is linked if you type in exclamation mark story, and you can read the full story there. I'll do that as soon as I'm off stream. And yeah, we'll probably do edits next Saturday, and I'll work on getting that YouTube video of this story out. If you want to watch this VOD, I'll have it up on YouTube channel here in the next couple days. I thank everyone for making it out. Hopefully streamers will go better next time, and we'll have some more people. Till then, have a wonderful weekend.